Unfortunately, you're not going to take payouts every month, and I fall in the same category. In the month of May, I did not take a single payout across any of the prop firms that I'm trading with, although there's only two of them right now. But I want to go over the reasons for it and the lessons I'm going to take from it so that you guys can get a little bit better from it as well and learn from my mistakes, because there's no doubt I was making mistakes, and here's what they are. So I put a thread out on Twitter about reflecting on what they were. Let's go over the first one here of trying to force trades inside that first 15-minute opening range. I made plenty of videos about it throughout this whole journey, so you guys have seen the videos, hopefully, that this first 15 minutes of the day, the range that is set, if we're still inside there later on in the morning, really not a great sign. I mean, you could even go, actually, today, as I'm filming this. Let's go to the opening range. What's this one? On ES. I have it marked up. It's red again, because it's the same lesson. If it's within this range, it just gets very dangerous to try to time the chop of it and what direction it's going to pop and when. That if I can let it get outside and create that trend and show that hand that, hey, buyers took control there, now the trend is starting to show up, look for the key level retests, break of high day view up, simple trend continuation. It just becomes a lot easier. That why am I trying to chop myself up and lose accounts or lose capital in that mess when it's just very unclear for everybody and tougher to do? It's the same markup here pretty much. And you can see once it breaks out, there's some higher lows over here. Those are the longs you want to be taking. Another one, going against the 15-minute trend. Now, I didn't do this one very often, so that's definitely not the reason I didn't take payouts. But there were a few examples when you look at it here. We can blow it up a little bit. Of looking at the short. Come on, get that arrow out of here. On a break of lower day VWAP, although there are some lower highs here, looking bearish, break of lower day view up after we broke the opening range low as well. What's the actual trend on the bigger picture? On the left side, the 15-minute, we're holding the daily, creating a higher low from there. Why am I shorting it into it, first of all, right? I don't want to be trading against it, but certainly not into it, where it's more likely to bounce from there, right? If anything, you could say I could short it up here down to that VWAP, which is still tough. But once you're at it, certainly don't short it now, because when it bounces off it and continues back in the direction of trend, looks like a terrible loss. So again, I didn't do that one too often, but it did cost me some money, so maybe that is it. But it also comes down to maybe wanting to take the trade, thinking, well, I think it's going to break lower, despite what that says, right? It's a mix of both, of whether you knew the 15-minute was there or not. Sometimes you ignore it, or you don't put enough weight on it. I got to do better at both of those. The biggest one, I would say, I didn't journal my trades at all. Really, we can go by TradeZella here. I'm back on the horse. I have accountability partners around me, people that want me to do better, so they got me back on the horse. Let's go back to May here. What the hell is that? Looking pretty damn empty. There's not even journals created, like this little note here, created on those days. And of the ones that they're created, I mean, let's click on the 12th. View note. There's a couple markups and zero text. Very lazy. Not that I think I have it all figured out by any means, but it looked like this. A couple markups and no notes, right? So I got a little lazy on there. When I stop journaling, I lose my structure. Without the structure, I'm just going to keep on repeating the same mistakes because I don't know what I did wrong yesterday. I didn't really reflect on it. If I made money yesterday, I don't necessarily remember exactly why it was such a good trade because I didn't mark it up. I didn't speak about it. I don't know what I want to do again tomorrow. Obviously, I have a general idea because it's my own damn strategy, but you get the gist of it, of not keeping up to what's helping me, what's hurting me, what's my biggest work on the intraday. So without writing out my trades, my thoughts, my emotions, I have no clarity. And when things get lazy like that and you're not getting the results from it, probably the best time to get back on to doing it. So it's now one of my non-negotiables again, which it was. I mean, I used to take pride in it. I had some of the best DRCs in the game. If you're in the Blackstrip Club, you saw it. I'd have like 10 markups and a full, thorough talk through of what was the biggest lesson so I could always help people that were studying my report cards. What was the best trade and what am I doing? Whatever, right? So back on the horse with that. I mean, you can see here in the end of May, I got those going. And to start June here, we're cooking with fire now, folks. Back to back to back days. So watch out. The other one, what do we got here? Impatience seeing ideas through. This was a lot of it as well. So another lesson of why I probably didn't take payouts, of not seeing my ideas through. So if we could see this picture here, which hopefully you can, of a long here, right? It looks freaking clean as ever with all these higher lows. If you know my strategy off the New York VWAP bounce, break for a new high a day. Don't be chasing it up there. See a pullback to a key level. New York VWAP retest, break of high day VWAP. What is wrong with that trade? Absolutely nothing. It's outside of the range that we went over in the first lesson, right? This 15-minute opening range. It's outside of there. There's trending structure. I got to be in that. But it takes on some heat, actually builds another higher low, if anything, looking like it looks even better now, and buyers take it back again. But it's moving maybe a little bit too slow for me. I want it to rip immediately. So what happens right when I get through a little bit of profit here? All right, cool. Stop loss break even. Thank you very much. And then I get pinned out and I see it go on without me just because I wasn't letting it do its thing and see it all the way through, right? It's like it's still not even worked itself out. Still making these higher lows. Buyers are above the high day view up. Don't be fearful that this is going to lose. Don't be impatient. Don't be making stuff up in your mind, whatever. See it through and you catch a nice, beautiful win there. But instead, I get nothing. I walk away with a donut, and then maybe the next trade later on that day or later tomorrow is a loss. Well, now I have no money in the bank to beat that loss. So seeing the ideas through, there's no reason to move stop loss here structurally to my plan, nothing. So got to see the ideas through until I get new information that, hey, you probably want to get out of this. It's breaking all these levels, Evan. So that's obviously on me that I cost myself missing out on a lot of winners by my own doing. Not the market, not my risks, not nothing. Just my moving of stop loss, of not wanting to let it do its thing with open risk, right? Which is a huge problem for sure, because you're costing yourself wins and you're getting out of them without the winning side of it, but you were on the right side of things. This one kind of goes hand in hand with it. If stop losses were too tight, you can kind of tie that to the previous one. Where the hell did we just go? You can kind of tie it to the same one that we just went over, but I didn't take this trade specifically. It's just again, I didn't journal, so it's tough to find a trade that I'm talking about. But this would be an example of a break of high day view up, stop loss right at current structure. Getting stopped out, and then you see this go on without, you're like, damn, why am I not long anymore? Because of a tight stop loss. Now, again, I didn't do this one very much either, but I know it is a big problem when I see a lot of the markups in the stream and the BSC, whatever it is. Stop losses definitely do come into play, and it kind of goes hand in hand like what I'm saying with the last one. You could say my stop losses are too tight here, but in a different way, right? Some people have a too tight stop loss getting into the trade like this one, and there's others that move their stop loss too early, too tight, too prematurely. That's also going to cost you money the same, right? But just wanting to be, I guess, perfect of like 9 points, I only need to go get 9 points, right? Rather than saying you should have a stop loss at 15 points down there, but damn, now then I need to go get 15 points to get 1R, and that's a lot. I'd rather just be able to get out of this in like 3 quick candles and make $500. Well, I bet you would, but that's not what the chart or the strategy is telling you to do, so I don't really care what you want. I'm talking to myself. Do what you're supposed to do and what your strategy is telling you to do. Put your ego aside of, well, I want to get a quick risk reward. I don't want to give it the proper stop. Hopefully this doesn't come back here. It does, stops you out, and then gives another long opportunity, but you missed the boat. So that was another example. So not too crazy. And then with all that, you think there was some lack of confidence? For damn sure. So all this really stems from not journaling, not reviewing, and not sticking to that process day in and day out. I mean, how many times have you guys seen me do those tight stop losses like that? Probably never. How many times have you seen me move that stop loss too prematurely when it's like 4 points in profit? Probably never. Because it really never has happened. So, I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't know why the hell it started to flare up here in the month of May. Definitely need to get it back on track. Reflect on my own life of what is maybe going on to make me think differently, act differently, blah, blah, blah. Boring stuff, whatever. But it's serious in terms of confidence is built from hitting winners, unfortunately, right? No one's very confident if they're on a 10 trade lose streak. So I understand how winners feed that confidence. So it's just very tough to be confident when you're not journaling because you don't really know what you need to fix or what is working well still, what's holding you back a little bit to create a game plan of, okay, well, let me go fix that. This is how I'm going to fix that. Then you get a little juice and motivation of, okay, well, at least now I know what to do about what's happening. But I was like, I don't know what's happening because I'm not really paying attention. So very unprofessional in that regard. But it's just built from doing the same thing over and over, and the results will show up over time. So hopefully you guys find some value in this and learn from my mistakes of a bad month. It is what it is. We get back on the horse. We're up to a great start on June. It's just a little bump in the road. I know what I am capable of and what I still am able to do, and I'm still doing it now that I'm back on the horse. I look more like myself with the trades I'm taking. We can even go to today's trade. We missed it today. Today's trade. Where is it? Outside the range. Okay, that was a problem in May. Trading inside of it, so that's check one. You think I would move my stop loss here last month? Maybe, probably. Could have. Who knows? But then I get a donut, and it goes higher without me. So I stuck through the idea. It didn't come into play on this trade, but I didn't put a tight stop loss right at structure or even that pin. I gave it space mid-range below the previous structure, giving it all the space it needs to play that trend out, giving myself a fair shot at winning. And I won because I saw the idea through, had a good stop, followed the trend outside of range. It's pretty simple when you boil it down to my strategy like this of what you got to do each and every day. But if you don't follow it, well, then don't expect good results. I definitely can't promise you that. But if you can stick to what the core principles are, you should be in good hands and you should be pretty good over the long period of time. So back on the horse, back to not being stupid and doing things that I know I should do, and we'll see better results from it. So I appreciate you guys always tuning in. Feel free to reach out. I'm sure you guys are always going through some similar things, and hopefully you guys can now wake up and stop doing them as well. If you're neglecting your journaling, definitely do not. That's a non-negotiable. I thoroughly trade with TradeZella with their journaling, their tracking, the tags, all that different stuff. So if you need a discount with them so you can start tracking your trades seriously, just click the link down below. Get you a nice discount on that. But I appreciate you guys always tuning in. And like I said, I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.